Up next, we have Storytelling Should Not Stop at Retail Placement. Our moderator is Sharon Weisman. Sharon?
Thank you, Anne. Hi, everyone. I'm Sharon Weisman. I know the acoustics is bad over there, so the good news is I could say whatever I want, and it won't matter. I'm really excited to be here today. Cherry picked this panel because they all, right now and in the past, worked with brands that did it right. And the reason we're all here is because what happens is the storytelling of the product tends to stop the minute the product sits on the shelf at retail, online or offline. And that should not happen. Because in a way, we go through all the effort and time and money to develop a toy and then design the packaging and then create the marketing and get the buyer to agree to move it all aside, to put it on the shelf, and then we stop engaging. And then it doesn't sell. And then the blaming game starts, right? Then everyone starts pointing fingers and says, the retailer isn't helping me. Or the retailer says the brand really isn't promoting it. And then the licensee might say, I'm squeezed by both sides. And I don't know how to move the product off the shelf. These people are doing it right. So we're lucky. I'm very lucky to be here, and thank you so much for coming. I work at PowerStation Studios, now part of Portman Street. What we do is we help create superior storytelling. I think we're going to do a drinking game, okay? Every time I say storytelling, we all take a shot of something. Okay, thank you. That's great. So I'll introduce the panel. We are a toy fair, right? So if I'm a kid walking up to you in a toy store and I ask you, what do you do? And what's your claim to fame, maybe personally or professionally, in a sentence or two? What would you say, Kristen?
Well, I have the best job ever because I work at BBC Studios and represent Bluey. So I've worked on a lot of brands and had a lot of fun over the years. I've been in retail development for 20 years. And that's communicating to retailers about fun brands that we all love and helping them get the products that they want for their stores.
Beautiful. Kevin?
Yep. Hi, everyone. Kevin Tully here. I have been in the toy industry for about 16 years, worked for 4 different companies, and have been just heading up packaging, branding initiatives, creative services, and that's my world.
Amazing. Cindy?
Hello. Can you tell who my people are? Hi, I'm Cindy Chang. I work at Netflix. I've been here 4 years. I'm in the licensing side. So I work on great brands that you guys all watch, like Stranger Things and One Piece and Bridgerton. And prior to this, I worked at Universal, where I did lots of Jurassic toys. I did Minions, and that is my claim to fame. I'm responsible for the original Minions Fart Blaster. So you're all welcome.
Thank you so much. Cindy, Netflix is known to create immersive worlds on numerous levels and platforms. How do you approach weaving storytelling into toy development with licensees? And how does that strengthen the connection between the product and the customer?
So for us, it all starts with the right product and the right partner. And we think a lot about that because we are not in the business of just making product for product's sake. Every piece is out there, we say, has to have a reason for being. We have a really good example that we're currently working on where the product that was pitched us was the right partner and it was the right product, but it was not exactly what we wanted in terms of storytelling and price point. And so we really worked with them to make sure the components within the toy was telling the story that we needed for this particular brand, even though it meant a higher price point for them and potentially a different kind of packaging execution and even potentially different types of on shelf. So that's a really good example for us of like the right product, right partner, but also the right through line in terms of how they're thinking about it.
I love that. Everyone says, feed the fans. And we truly believe in honoring the fans, right? The fans can call bullshit when you create something that they don't necessarily want or the quality isn't there. They notice every little detail. So I love what you said, not compromising of any of those, even if that means investing more effort, time, and money, right? Kevin, as a leading toy manufacturer, although you play kind of both sides of the field with Squishmallow as an IP that you guys developed and now Builder, which is really exciting. How do you design packaging in order to continue to engage and tell the story? I know as someone who designs packaging myself, with some retailers, we have a challenge where they want to keep us all in their ecosystem and not put QR codes or not send people to other platforms that might engage and sell your product more, but keep us in kind of their online, offline environment.
Yeah, from a packaging perspective, packaging is just such an incredible storytelling vehicle for your brand. Not just to sell your product, but to tell a story about your brand. And what we do at Jazwares, a lot of times we'll tailor our communication to how to extend that brand with cross sells on packaging. We'll do links to our social media sites, of course. Also, we have we want people to think of the product that they're getting not to be just a purchase, but we want it to be like they're taking home a friend. So we establish emotional connections with our consumers.
What you did by building the right community also for Squishmallows is amazing, and that carries on. Speaking of carrying on, Kristen, do you have examples of products or experiences that you had where retailers actually leaned in and helped, or it was kind of a collective effort?
Yeah, absolutely. So similar to what my colleagues have said is that tying back to content is essential. The fans want the true experience. We're so fortunate because Bluey has transcended from a preschool property to an all-family brand. So ages, of all ages, love our property, which is really, really great. Last year, we were the #1 viewed show in the United States. 55.6 billion minutes viewed. And that can't just be preschoolers. That's like everyone. So we're very fortunate. Our creator, Joe Brum's storytelling really resonates with all demos. And that's the key. Preschool kids, boys and girls equally, through adults, even dogs love watching our show. So
She's not kidding, by the way.
it's pretty amazing.
I can't explain it. It's one of those, like, sometimes Marshall Mizrahi once told me, we're in the gambling business, but then every once in a while someone will take some stardust and sparkle it over a certain something and stars will align and it will become this great success and we can't always explain it. My designer team, who are ages 22 to 34, all know and love Bluey. They cry during the episodes. And they don't have any kids, so there really is a sensation. Something that you're doing is working, and we'll talk about social media later and how that helps.
I didn't give my examples.
Do it.
Okay, so we have so many examples, but 3 that came to mind were our master toy partner is Moose Toys, and they've created, these play sets that just really bring the world of Bluey to life. They're so intricate and just detailed. They have all the bells and whistles that kids can imagine from seeing on the screen, bringing that to life, especially with the characters, to be able to replay your favorite episodes, whether it's at their house, the Healer home, the Hammer Barn where they shop, or the big tree on the backyard. So bringing those experiences to children is really, really great. Another one is very tied to content is going on family adventures. The Healers, they have their family vehicle, piling everyone in and going and having a little road trip. So our partner, Sakar, has created ride-ons for children of all ages, foot to floor, 6-volt and 12-volt, so kids can experience that same kind of adventure. And the last one, we just announced our global partnership with Lego. So we're super excited. Our line spans both the Duplo and the 4+ segment of their toys. So talk about the most incredible toy to build with your family, not only to build Bluey's world, but also create your own and have fun with it and be imaginary with it.
If I had to weave a line between everything you just said, is the fact that kids nowadays, I feel like they don't want to be spectators anymore. They want to be participants, right? They want to be part of the story. part of the storytelling and not just sitting back and enjoying a show on TV. They want to be part of the conversation. So all these experiences and bringing them into it where they are in control of the narrative really helps, and it's great that you have such amazing partners to help you with that. The only one I'm not familiar with is Lego. Who are
What's that? Lego who?
I don't. Okay, let's talk about challenges in retail. But I'm going to shuffle the energy. I did that without falling off the stage because you guys deserve to see me too. Okay, challenges at retail, online and offline. Kevin, it's becoming crowded. There's a lot of bricks. There's a lot of plush. You walk through the aisles now. You go on Amazon. There's so many choices. How do you control the storytelling in order to stand out?
Essentially, the branding needs to be consistent across all platforms. It needs to be very engaging, relatable, and just consistent, no matter what platform it is. At Jazwares, we love out of the aisle opportunities, floor standing displays, pallet programs, sidekicks. They're all fantastic ways to get your billboard a little bit bigger outside the clutter at retail. Beyond retail, brick and mortar, we find great success with providing our fans with interactive marketing experiences. A lot of times we'll have, we create special programs for them, which is Squishmallows Day, for example. It's a day that we drum up the excitement leading up to the event, and we will broadcast live for an entire day, giving away products, featuring product drops. It really is a fan appreciation. So we let them know that they are part of this ecosystem. They are part of our brand DNA, really. And then we also have a Squish Tour bus that we drive around to different cities. Same thing, we bring the experience to the fans, making sure that they're not always having to come to us. We're going to them as well. And then, finally, we are very active on our socials. We encourage UGC, user-generated content, and we really applaud that and repost a lot and promote it.
That's great. I like that tension of push and pull. I don't know if we're allowed to say this out loud. I heard through the grapevine that you don't send any product to celebrities. So you don't sell squishies to someone just to solicit it, but if they ask you, you'll give it to them. But everything is unsolicited, authentic. I know the word authentic has been done to this, so let's just say relatable and real.
Yeah, absolutely, that's true.
That's wonderful. Cindy, how can brands and toy companies partner with retailers to address those challenges of creativity?
So we definitely depend, obviously, on our licensed partners to make the product and help sell it in, but we also are very active in that conversation. We have our own retail development team. We go out there, and then we just work very, very actively with both the buyer, the buying team, the merchandising teams, and also telling the retail marketing story. The worst thing to happen is we create beautiful product, amazing packaging, we get it on shelf, it's over here, we get something else over there. The consumer doesn't know, it's not telling a through line. So even if it's not beautiful signage or a shop in shop, we just try to put them all together so that you can just make it easier for the consumer to find us, to experience our brand through the amazing product that we have. We currently have 2 verticals that we're working on. We have Netflix Shop, which is owned and controlled by us, where we have product for our fans. And then we're currently in the process of opening up 2 actual Netflix houses that will be Netflix run, and it will be a place where you can come and get our stuff. So it's a different type and deeper storytelling than we can do. Than we love our retail partners, the Walmarts, the Targets, the Hot Topics of the world. But then this is a way for us to tell just much deeper storytelling.
2 locations right now for Netflix House?
2 locations right now. Very exciting.
I can't wait.
End of the year, mark your calendars.
Let's do it. We're all going together, right? Okay. Party bus.
In the family vehicle.
Yes.
Nice. I love that plug-in.
Front seat.
I'm in the back. Kristen, you've always been such an advocate for global and truly understanding how to zone in when it comes to being hyper-focused for a certain location or territory. how do we deal with the same challenges, but also when globally there's a layer that's added there where it's fragmented and every territory might be very different and the market wants different things? How do you continue the storytelling then, hold all the licensees accountable to have a cohesive narrative?
Right. It's a good problem to have, right? So we're really fortunate. Bluey is a global icon. She's truly amazing. And the storytelling has universal appeal across all ages and demos and regions. So it's really been seamless for us to translate the stories, but our partners are global, but locally they're adept at rolling out the timing and aligning it with the life cycle in that market. So we're very fortunate to have incredible partners. Our global broadcast partner is Disney. And then we work with global toy companies like Moose Toys, Ty, Lego, Hasbro, and Jazwares. Right? And they're really helpful to having success on and off the shelf. So
that's great. Kevin, how does Jazwares use visual vocabularies on packaging and online to kind of keep that same conversation cohesive? So now I know that Jazwares is a branded house and not a house of brands. So it's all kind of that awesomeness.
Yep, that's right. Across all platforms, it's so important to have consistency in the message. It needs to be seamless across anywhere that your brand is. It needs to be seamless. The use of brand assets, color, typography, font, brand logos, it all needs to be seamless from one place to another to make sure that the quality is there, consistency. One thing that we also do on packaging, we utilize dynamic illustrations or photos because you get the message out a lot quicker than words. Also, sometimes you have to translate packages, so cutting down the words on package really help by using dynamic photos and illustrations. What we do there, we give kids stories to play out and hopefully inspire them to play out their own stories beyond the purchase. And then, one of Jazwares' specialties is collector focused items. For that, we establish really, really clear collector systems, making sure that we're naming and numbering and educating our fans on how that collection goes. It needs to be very simple, or else it's going to be too complex and just fall to the wayside. So visual vocabulary plays a lot into that. Also, when you're building a brand, you want to consider the brand blocking on shelf. Brand blocking is when you look at Coca-Cola in store, it's a giant sea of red going down the aisle. So that's where your brand is really going to stand out, making sure that your branding is very consistent from your low price points to your high price points, so you get that nice brand blocking on shelf.
I love that. And truth be told, I have never worked with a company that cares about quality more than Jazwares does. And when it comes to Squishmallows, for example, using the exact fabric, the exact technology and patent is so important to them. So really props to you guys for doing that. That also really helps to tell a cohesive story at retail without any fail. Cindy, let's talk about branded content and online content. You're so lucky. You have this, it's Netflix. We all Netflix. We all watch it. Then there's the branded content that comes online and social media and different aspects. How do you tie in content online and offline to sell more product? And to really, not to sell more product, to engage with a fan in a way where I want this and I want the next one and I want to be part of this story and continue to grow with the series.
Yeah, that's a good distinction because that's the one thing we don't do with our social is we don't sell product because our product is the content. But what we do is just really make sure that we're connecting the story through line, whether it's our own socials, our partner socials, so that we're making sure that we're getting it out in a way that really surprises and delights the fans. And they're looking at that content as more content to engage in. And it happens to maybe feature a product, but not overtly like feature and product. And so I think the best storytelling with content is that where you're looking at it and you're engaged and entertained, but it's not the hero content like the show, but it's more sort of either using our product or telling a story about our product. We have a social team that's amazing, but like she said, we're lucky, but be careful what you wish for, because they're also very busy promoting thousands of other titles. So we have to fight for our time as well, for our shows that we represent the way Jazwares would have to fight.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Kirsten,
Yeah.
how can users generate content or social media tools and platforms to amplify the storytelling post-purchase? So different, right? Not to driving it to the purchase, but now I bought something, it's mine. How do I continue to be part of this world?
Love that. Social engagement is really paramount today. So engaging your fans is really the way to encourage them to just extend that brand love and want more to know about the product. Bluey's digital and social following are incredible. And this is pretty amazing because our primary audience are preschoolers. So it's not them, it's the shorts and the memes that have engaged adults and teens and college kids, like your friends, to drive to the content. And now we have this incredible brand that's gone from preschool to all family to all ages. So some ways that user-generated content has helped us amplify the storytelling is, one example is stop motion video with our toys. So bringing those toys to life and showing how to play with them, just, I can watch them all day long. They're so incredible. And beyond that, watching how they make the stop motion video is even more amazing. I just love watching just the engineering and everything that goes behind those short little videos, kind of like Aardman animation, like that kind of claymation. It's just really, really engaging and fun. Another thing is influencer campaigns. Organically, especially at seasonal time, we have influencers that see our products at retail and post about it just organically and drive tons of sales. They often sell out before the holiday, which has really been great for us. Easter eggs. We have a long dog. If you know the show, there's a little long dog that's hidden in every episode. So we've actually added that gamification to products, to packaging, and to even retail displays to just extend that fun of the show, of finding this one little tiny icon that's embedded in every show. And the last is digitally, we have celebrity book reads. So we have a lot of celebrity fans. And just hearing them read a story of one of your favorite stories by a favorite actor or athlete just brings a whole new experience to the brand and a whole new way of looking at it. So
you just gave me the greatest idea. Does anyone here know about this thing at Trader Joe's where you can walk in and there's a plushie that's hidden? If you have kids, you know, because, right? Everyone's like nodding. I didn't know until I had kids, and now I know that I can unleash them in Trader Joe's and find that plushie somewhere, and then they get some silly, whatever, lollipop. But it's again, bringing them into the story and activating them at retail. If you hid the icon in the story anyway, you could now engage Trader Joe's and start putting your plushies there for the kids to find.
nice. So we have done it definitely at mass in our PDQs and things like that, and the fans love it. So
That's really cool. I think sometimes we have to help retailers. You know, it's hard, and they have to get people into stores too. Give them a reason. Create a destination. Do things differently. Hide, surprise, delight, right? So I
absolutely.
think that's the way to go. So let's talk about leveraging licensing. Now everything becomes a bit more challenging when it comes to licensing, but it is definitely a method to continue the storytelling. Lean on the right partner to help you bring everything to retail in a way where it is engaging and it's fun. Licensing is a marriage. Marriage ain't for everyone, but it definitely helps to get by. So I guess, Kevin, you have both hats on, right? You're a licensee and a licensor. Not an easy thing to do, but fun. You have skin in the game. How do you leverage licenses? I'm guessing mostly around Builder right now. That's very exciting. To get farther at retail to create a better story and engage more of an audience that would for, just for the bricks? So how do we get people talking beyond?
Yeah, great question. First and foremost, we have to absolutely respect our licensor style guides. If they have a style guide, we actually work with a lot of licenses that would have a very strict style guide, and then some that don't have a style guide at all. In that case, we have an internal graphic design team, or sometimes we work with people on the outside to develop a style guide for our licensors. And that is actually done in conjunction with them. We do checkpoints along the way, making sure that we're not straying from the brand DNA, and we want them to be part of it, really feel connected to it, because that's their brand. We always treat licenses like it's somebody else's baby, which it is. You want it to not only stay healthy, but also to grow. So I spoke a little bit earlier about Jazwares being very good at doing high-end collectibles or high-end collaborations. And with those, oftentimes, like, we are extending the brand. We are asking for permission to do certain items that we're just finding in our research that we think that this can fit in the world of. And if it does, the licensor has to allow us to do that, of course. And we create a new set of rules that still feels in line with the brand. So we'll create some new brand assets and work with the licensors to make sure that it's not going too far and is hitting the right spot for the consumers.
That makes sense. Kirsten, on the flip side, what does a licensor like BBC expect their licensing partners to do? Like, what do you expect the licensees to do in order to help the storytelling at retail?
Great question. So to be honest, it's not just up to the licensee. It takes a village to have success.
What an amazing
at retail.
partner.
What's that?
You're such a great partner.
Oh, well,
It's like,
thank
rip them a new one.
That's right. So the village is the IP owner, it's the licensee, and it's the retailer. So some ways that we try to add the cohesive storytelling is sharing the business strategy with our partners, the licensees and the retailers, as soon as we can, so that everybody on the onset is on the same page and heading towards the same goal. We also plan brand themes in advance as much as we can to kind of nurture and foster some creative thinking and fresh takes at retail, way in advance. So that's been really helpful. And also, I'm just going to reiterate tying to content. We really collaborate with our partners, just like my colleagues were saying, to make it the right product, to make it tie back to content, make it relevant, and make it something the fan wants and will appreciate. It's not far-fetched. It's something that's truly they've seen in content. As well, omni-channel digital campaigns. The marketing campaign, you all need to invest in them. And that's the key, is everybody taking part in creating statements in-store and digitally, pulling together, make it easy for your fans to find those products. We found this with our brand stores online, that we've all invested with our retail partners and our licensees. That one-stop shop is so powerful. They're looking for one thing, and then they find all these other categories at the same time. So working together to create these one-stop shops is really, really important. And those cohesive campaigns, a lot of times shoppers today, they have their mobile phone while they're in the store. So they're shopping online and in person. That cohesive brand or marketing campaign is actually going to help with conversion. So having that same message, like Kevin was saying, is so important, keeping it consistent all across. And lastly, retailtainment. Retailers love it. It's going to bring affinity. It's going to drive traffic, excitement, and sales. And that way, everybody wins. So whether it's a pop-up shop or a window takeover or a costume meet and greet, it's something that the retailers really appreciate and love.
You're truly a team player, and I commend you for that, because not all licensors are. So it's really nice to hear. Cindy, how do we deal with oversaturation? We see it a lot with anime brands right now, things that were niche and now became mainstream. They're everywhere. What do we do to stand out and to make sure that you're deploying the right assets to the right licensees and the right retailers so the market doesn't become oversaturated?
Well, first of all, everybody's a fan of something. And now our entertainment world is so not fractured, but very widespread. And so it's really finding the right place with the right product and the right partner to sort of bring it there. So we're very careful with our brands and really being empowered within our company to say we don't need that, or we don't, or that doesn't work for our fan. Even if we sign a license and we develop product, if it's not going the way we all planned, we all have the power to sort of say, you know what, this is not going where we want it. And if we can't get it back on track, to just make the call of like, we'd rather not have it than have it be the wrong thing and have the fans not be happy with it.
That's very thoughtful. Kevin, let's talk phygital. I know that's also a word that kind of lost its luster, so let's just say digital overlays or leveraging AI, AR, VR. Since you work a lot with Roblox now, what are kind of tips and tricks on to engage farther beyond the actual tangible product that you saw to be successful?
There's two examples I can give that we currently do. With Roblox, we work with several games with licensing the toy, manufacturing the toys based on the Roblox license. But every single one of our toy comes with a virtual download. You might have a certain hat on the doll that you just purchased. You can now get that game code, bring it to Roblox, and now your digital character can be wearing that same exact hat. So it's connecting the tangible play with the digital world. Also, we created a Squishmallows game on Roblox platform. And what you can do there in that game, it's really cool. You can collect all the same exact Squishmallows that you can buy in the store, and some that you can't find anymore. So it makes a pretty cool experience that connects tangible play with the digital world.
Scarcity, limited editions, those are all practical things that we could do to create excitement, right? And continue engagement, tap into that collector's gene, that a lot of us have. I can't see the clock, so I'm going to move here. Let's wrap it up before the Q&A. One tip, if you have, to the people who are sitting here and dedicated their time to come and listen to you guys, how to do it right, storytelling, excitement at retail. What's the kind of bottom line for you guys? Not all at once. Everyone can jump on that grenade.
I can go. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, we want something that the fan really wants. We are all consumers here in this audience. You know when you're being sold to, and you know when you have something, you're like, I have to have that. So it's really just creating that visceral feeling of just really wanting it, sometimes not even articulating why, but that's the magic that we all hope for.
I don't know why I want stuff. Kevin?
I'll just say, don't aim to just create a product. Really focus on your brand. Focus on your product extensions as well. You don't want to just have one item. You want to create a family. You want to create a brand. Again, going back to my initial question that was asked, you want to create that emotional connection with your fan base, with your consumers, and really focus on that ecosystem across all platforms to make sure it's all consistent.
I love that. And I tell this to all our clients. It's not enough to do something once. It's not enough to plan for 1 month or 1 quarter or do one video. Do 500 videos and start spreading it out throughout the year. Create 1,000 narratives that go, kind of find your own adventure and make sure that we all can fit ourselves into the story. Kristen?
So success at retail really stems from tying products to content. I know I've said that a bunch of times. So as my advice to a toy company or a toy creator, you really need to have a true partnership with the IP owner and the manufacturer. And from the onset, you need to have the art assets, clear brand guidelines, as well as just a comprehensive understanding of where the brand is going and what the content is all about, so that you can create compelling and innovative product that will certainly live beyond the shelf.
Hey, repetition is recognition.
There you go.
It is what it is. So I think what we learned is really, getting a product on the shelf is an amazing win. Amazing, but it's not enough. You have to continue and engage. You have to make sure that you embed the right technology. By the way, is Echo in the crowd? Shout out to Echo. If you haven't spoken, EKO.com, talking about technology that can convert. Because our go-to is really to talk about brick and mortar, but we all know that the next generations are digital native. We all know, you touched on this. I'm in the store with my phone. Eventually it's a touch point, but I'll end up getting something on my phone, looking for the better price, looking for a way to figure out how would this fit in my collection, how big is it, from scale to engagement and what it would look like in my home. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. We have 4 minutes, so I'm going to open up the floor to questions. If anyone has any. Eric Morse in the back.
Kudos on a great panel, Sharon, and to the panel for your information. As you're talking about storytelling doesn't stop at retail, in using retail as a platform, when you have a retailer like a Spirit or a Spencer's where it has its own unique identity, where is the calculus on bending the brand to fit into the store storytelling to leverage your new content or the evergreen nature of the property to get the placement and to get that sort of arc of product sale?
I think there's no real matrix, right? I'll jump on that grenade. I think, of course we want to get product into retail. Of course we want to be in more doors. But I don't think Kristen is making a Bluey vibrator anytime soon to get into Spencer's, right? Just keeping it real.
Wow,
right?
Sharon. I said adult fans, but hello.
I didn't pay him to ask that. I paid him not to ask that, but that didn't work. Are there considerations for reals where a retailer really wants to do something, you have to correlate with a certain vibe, and it might, you might need to bend the rules a little bit and the brand DNA, to Kevin's point, in order to fit that retailer?
That one. So it's kind of going back to what I said. It's like having the right partner from the get-go. There are some brands we know that you can flex a little bit. Other brands a little bit more rigid, whether that's us or production partner or talent, you don't know. But I think if we don't have alignment up front, then you're not going to have success at the end. And it's better to have an open and honest conversation at the beginning and all the way through, so that we know that you're proud of it, we're proud of it at the end of the day.
It's a good question. Anyone else? Questions? No? Perfect. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, and Anne, and Kelsey, and your fan club, Cindy, who is amazing.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.